So Kevin's done the 3 holes and fitted the number plate light just under there, and that does look nice and sleek. Really happy with that. Looks fantastic. So around the back here you can see just right in there, you can just about see the silver screws, and there's the cable. So that looks great. Good job, Kevin. Fantastic. Right, so Kev's installed the tail tidy and the tail light, and what we're going to do now is attach some 3M double-sided tape around here, and that will be sufficient enough to be able to hold the number plate in place. And that is the rear tail unit done. We're now, well, Kev's going to be fitting all of the electronics back into the bike. At the back here you can see there's a mount for the GPS sensor, and then we'll have the tank back on, the T800 fitted, the seat, the rest of the fairings, and we're almost there. We've got the rear sprockets due, and hopefully you guys have commented to let me know which one is your favourite, which colour combination. So we've attached the 3M double-sided tape. Because these are being powder coated, it's quite a rough surface, so I'm just heating up with a fan heater we got here, just to make it a bit more tacky, so it sticks better to the tail tidy. And then we'll take off the plastic and then attach it to the number plate. So we have our T800 up map, which we're going to be installing. This plugs directly into this plug here, and then what we're going to do is feeding it through and under here, and then with some double-sided tape just attach it to the inside, and then we'll configure it as soon as we've got the tank on and all the electrics are working. Then we can download it, and it will then work off Wi-Fi. So that's the T800 installed just above there on a flat surface. I've used the 3M double-sided tape to hold it in place. This is quite curved, so it's not going to sit flush on there, so that's why I popped it up there out the way, and all the cables are neatly tucked inside the tail unit here. We've got the exhaust guard on, the connectors, this part for the tank, and that's all installed, all fitted through there. And we've also got the titanium bolts along the engine case as well. So we're now fitting the Satin side fairing panels, well, the inner fairing panels. And here is our Fullsix belly pan. With this, we've gone for the satin matte at the front, and then going into gloss. And this will be going, obviously, on the bottom of the bike, and it will complement our colour scheme. So that's going on there now, and we'll do a video showing that installed. Right, so we're just installing the belly pan. Now this has been designed for the original. It does also fit the Akrapovic. However, obviously all manufacturers have their own design, and obviously they don't cater for other brands and products. So what we found with ours and the Zard is it's fouling at the bottom here. This pipe goes a lot lower down, so we're going to have to Dremel this slight edge away, so then it can sit up a bit more, because it looks like it's coming about 20 mil out from where it needs to be there in that hole there. So we're going to do that, and hopefully it will sit nice and snug. And here is our lovely side fairing panel. With this, again, we've gone for the satin matte and then the gloss. Now give it some texture and a bit of depth between the two. So we're swapping over the components from the original tank over to the Fullsix carbon fibre tank. This is the bottom fuel pump. That's right, isn't it, Kev?
Yep.
And that will basically swap directly onto the Fullsix version. Right, so the tank has a bit too much fuel in it to be able to take out the pump. So Kev, using his genius, has come up with an idea of letting the fuel do its own thing and then go into the tank at the bottom there. So if ever you're replacing the tank, make sure you've got no fuel in it. Make life a lot easier. So that's our fuel pump off and then put back into the carbon tank. It's quite a snug fit, isn't it? Mm. We managed to get all the fuel out of the original. So I was going to bolt this together and hopefully if we get time, get it fitted to the bike.
Put another 50p in the meter, was it?
Yeah. The light's just gone out. So getting the tank on, we've got this pipe which we're going to need to loosen the subframe and then bring this pipe so it goes round underneath and then attaches onto this part here. So I'll take these rubbers out of the original subframe and then fit them to the Fullsix subframe. And then basically that's what the fuel tank will mount onto, which will be these little mounting parts here. So you put the rubbers back in there, these set over, and then you just bolt it through. So we've now fitted the tank and it looks beautiful. There you can see the bottom of it and the exposed carbon. And then we'll put the side fairings on, and there's the inner carbon panels, and we've yet to fit the belly pan, and we've changed out all of those bolts to titanium. Now, I am wondering whether to put the satin side panels or the silver side panels. So, looking from here, I'm thinking yes to the silver side panels. It's only going to be the top section because the belly pan is going to be carbon. So it's just going to be this area here to have the silver piece. I might put the carbon ones on and the silver ones, and it'll be good to know your thoughts for which you think suits the bike best. And don't forget, we do have a coupon code to use on our website for all of these parts and more, which is in the link below, or it's UT SVF, so Uniform Tango Sierra Victor Foxtrot, and looking forward to seeing how that integrated tail light is going to look as well. It's coming along better than I expected. I hope you guys like it as well. There's the silver side piece. Not sure. What do you think, Kev?
Silver.
You think? Right. I'm going to swap it over for the carbon, and then we'll see from there. And there is the Satin carbon side panel. I think the Satin carbon, because we're going to have the carbon belly pan, which will be in the Satin as well, coming down here. I just think that with the silver, it's just a bit too in your face. What do you think, Kevin?
I don't know that. I don't know. That's all right.
What, the carbon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking the carbon. I think the silver is just going to be too much with the tank. But we'll see, we'll put the fairings on, the side fairings. But at the moment, I'm going with the carbon. Here is our fuel cap, our quick release fuel cap by MotoCorse. So I'm going to be installing this. Now with all fuel caps from nearly every single supplier, they are the top cap, they're not the whole complete system. So you need to remove the original top cap piece and the bottom cap, remove the top cap and then replace it with the new MotoCorse or the new cap that you've got from whoever. With MotoCorse, they do come with instructions like this in the pack. This is their old packaging, and they have got some lovely new packaging, which is, you know, they're a very high-end item, and some of their packaging comes or used to come in, you know, things like this, which for a very high-end product doesn't look great. So we do still have stock of MotoCorse in the old packaging. So if you do receive it, you know, it's we will be getting the new packaging once we've got our replacement stock. So pretty simple. It's literally undoing a few screws. You remove the bolts, parts that you need to install, and then you simply just put the spacers, you tighten them up, and you do what you previously did by removing the cap originally. So I'm going to remove the cap off the standard one. So the piece we want is this bottom piece here, because all of this and the top piece is going to be replaced with the MotoCorse part. So we remove the 4, then we've got to remove the other 5, which you'll see these along here, these screws. And then once we've got that base plate off, we could then attach the top quick release piece. So just going to remove those. Okay, so that's all the bolts removed, and that's the base plate removed from the original cap. So this is what you'll be left with. That was stage 2, stage 3, all the parts, and stage 4. So place all spacers provided under the mount, being helped by screws provided. Which are these, and the spacers. Tighten original plastic mount on tank, the 4 original screws. Remove previously placed screws. Place flange and tighten to tank. Right. Okay. So we've applied the spacers, all 3 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3 all around here, and then pop that here. As you can see, that now sits nice and flush in the tank. And then we need to put the 4 original bolts back into the tank. Now it's a case of simply removing these 3 and then placing this one on top. So these screws were there just to hold the spacers in place. Now these are the original screws that would come with the MotoCorse fuel filler cap, but we've gone for some nice titanium ones to replace these. And here are the titanium filler cap bolts. There we go. And there you have it. And that does look awesome. I think that goes really well with the rest of the tank. It really makes it pop. And here is the side tank fairing. What we've got is obviously the gloss going into the satin here, which is then going into the satin inner panels. And then we've got the one-piece gloss wings, which are going there. So with the originals, you have them as 2 cup holders like this. With the ones that Fullsix have made, they do make them the same style as OEM, but they also have made them their own style, which is in one piece, which I do prefer. It looks much better and less kind of gimmicky. I mean, for a naked bike, are they really necessary? Not really. I really like how that looks. That looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So in the original tank, you've got this plunger here, which basically tells you the level of the fuel that's left in there. So you need to pop this off. It does come with a circlip, so you need to remove the circlip, then take the lid off, and then in here you'll have, which looks like a little ball, which then is like a float. And here it is. So there's the ball. As that comes, that goes lower, triggers that you're low on fuel. So we're going to put that back into the original, the new tank, and then we can fill up with fuel. We have done an engine oil and filter change as well. So we need to fill it back with fuel, and then we can start it up, set up the T800. Here we have our Fullsix carbon fibre wings. They do make them same as originals, as mentioned earlier, and they also do make them as these one-piece parts, which I prefer the look of. They don't stick out as much, and that's how it'll fit, and it just looks neater on the bike. So I'm just going to fit these now, and you'll see what they look like when we finish. And here is the side wing installed. We do require a bracket, which is going to go in here and attach it to the bottom. They seem to have been missing when they arrived from Fullsix. As you can see from here, that does look better. It looks more like an air duct rather than wing. And this is how it looks from the side. So we've also installed the tank cover. As you can see, it's in matte finish, and then it goes down into gloss, into matte, into gloss, then down into matte. We're going to keep the side panels here in satin, makes it look a bit more stealth, and that's coming along beautifully.